Hello and welcome to Project Ava number 2. Today we're talking characters, specifically the 4 main characters, Shinji, Asuka, Rei, and Misato. Now, some people say that they all represent different psychological disorders, they all have different problems. Yes and no. I say that they all have the same problem, they just deal with it in different ways. And what is that problem? They all have trouble finding acceptance by others and being accepted by others.
I'm just not used to being around so many people.
Shinji is perhaps the most dramatic display of this. As we all know as fans of the series, he had a really rough childhood. He practically lived by himself with no parental influence in his life. He was very yielding to others.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is that all you can say? It's getting on my nerves! You're a boy! Act like one!
Yes, ma'am!
I guess that's just the way you are.
He seems to suffer from clinical depression. He doesn't like to be around others. His reasoning is once they get close to him, he'll hurt them in some way or they'll hurt him. So he just wants to avoid it all by not getting close to anyone at all.
You're afraid of being hurt.
Rei is just really detached. She doesn't want to be in a relationship with anybody, it seems, besides Gendo. And we find out later more about her past and where she came from, so that kind of explains things.
I'm leaving.
Now you may say that, Asuka has no trouble being around people and dealing with people. Well, yeah, she does. I mean, she also had a very rough childhood. Her mom committed suicide when she was just a child as a result of experiments done on her, similar to the ones that were done on Shinji's mom, which ended up in her death. And because of that, she wants to gain attention, draw attention to herself through her talents. She wants to be the best at everything. She's an early college graduate at 14. She wants to show off to everyone. She's very abrasive. She pushes a lot of people away. She doesn't want to be around them. She just wants everyone to look at her. Which doesn't necessarily mean that she wants to, be friends with them.
Don't touch me, you pervert!
Misato also had a very rough childhood. Are you starting to see a pattern developing here? Being the lone survivor of Second Impact, I believe, having her father, who she didn't like, save her life, and after that she was mute for a significant amount of time. Out of all 4 of them, Misato seems to be the one that is most able to deal with life and deal with her problems. In that sense, she's the most normal out of all of them. She's always giving Shinji advice on what to do and how to deal with his issues.
You mustn't run away, Shinji. Nothing will ever change unless you have the courage to step forward.
But ultimately she does suffer from the same problem as the other 3. She's very lonely. She seeks companionship but really can't find it. I mean, think about it. In her one intimate relationship with Kaji, she pushed him away. She doesn't want to, get back together with him. She says because he's immature, but it's really because she just doesn't want to, relive that kind of thing, and because of her father. Her best friend Ritsuko turns out to be not her friend by the end of the show, and we find out later that the reason she took in Shinji is because she was lonely, and she says she used him in that way.
I was just thinking of Shinji as a tool.
And her personality is, indicative of all these issues in her life, and that's just the way she deals with them. I mean, she has a wild personality. She drinks a lot, and when she was in college, all she wanted to do was have sex with Kaji, and she seems to be still very promiscuous, very in tune with that part of her. You know what I mean?
And don't worry, I'm not gonna be making any passes at him.
Of course you're not! How could you even think of such a thing? You've got no shame at all!
Stop people don't have any sense of humor.
And you know, all this is a huge theme in the show. As we find out later, the AT field is really just the barrier in our minds that keeps us from getting close to one another as humans. And, you know, all these characters, these 4 characters are, you know, all exemplify that. They all have their barriers. They want to keep people away from them. And they don't want to deal with other people. They can't handle it. Hey, join me next time when we take a look at some of the relationships between these characters. Now we're really getting into things, aren't we? We'll take a look at Shinji's relationship with all 3 female main characters, his relationship with Gendo, his relationship with Kaworu, basically Shinji's relationship with everyone. We'll take a look at Misato and Kaji. We'll try to fit in as many as possible in the next video, so I'll see you there.